Hello, good morning. I'm cooking again. Before it was spaghetti sauce, and now it's potatoes. Organic, Yukon, so I can leave the skins on. Anyway, so when I was on my walk this morning, I was thinking about fear and power, and how when we go into fear, about the power we think other people have to make certain scary things happen. And we get caught in that loop. Of course, we're diminishing our own power, and it's very easy to get caught in that, to see that fear as the truth. And oh, gee, I think they have this much power, therefore they must have this much power. So I was thinking about how to turn that into a different kind of truth. So here's the deal. These people or entities or whatever that stir up fear, let's look at comparing them to airplanes and starships. So the way I see them is their power is as great as the Wright brothers' first airplane, right? And when they first created that and they flew, and everybody was like, "Oh, wow, that's so stupendous," and they didn't fear it or anything, but that's their plane. So that's how much power they have. Is the Wright brothers' first airplane. We, on the other hand, in our community, we are waking up to our own power. We are starships. Not only are we individual starships, we're a fleet of starships. Their power equals one Wright brothers plane. Our power collectively equals a fleet of starships. So they may be able to fly and hop a little bit. We can bring them to the ground, not through violence, right? But we're going to intimidate the hell out of them with our power, with our light. So when you find yourself getting stuck in that loop, and remember that's just the ego mind that is running, that is running that story. It's that story isn't true at all. It is, as they say, false evidence appearing real, fear. Bring to mind that concept, or make up one of your own. That's one that works for me. That's the one that I have fun with. So start having fun with your imagination, because we're always using our imagination. It's just that normally we're doing it at a subconscious level, which is the fear voice. That's the little child within us, and that's the voice we developed over time and kept programming ourselves with, is this frightened little child who thinks they're unlovable and who interpreted things a certain way, interpreted ourselves a certain way, interpreted the world a certain way, and just say, well, look, as long as I'm going to be making up stories about what's going to happen in the future, or about who and what these people are, I'm going to have some fun with it, right? Because you're alive, you're breathing, if you're watching this, and you have that capacity. And if you're struggling to bring up that imagination in a fun way, call a friend. Have friends, have associates that you can call on to remind you. Not friends who are going to say, "Oh yeah, let's go down this scary road together." Call someone who's going to snap you out of it, who's going to remind you that that's an illusion, that their power is an illusion, that the fears that you're experiencing are the fears of a little child who thinks there's a monster under the bed, And that monster could be very real to that child. You know, I don't know. I never feared monsters under the bed. So, um, but many children do experience that. And so be the parent, be the loving parent who just soothes the child and reassures them that there's no monster. Let's go and look. You see a monster? No. Well, do you see evidence of the monster? Well, there were shadows on the wall. There's shadows on the wall. Oh, honey, that's just the trees blowing in the wind. So when you see what you think is evidence of their power, i.e., the things that you find disturbing that you see, remember that that too is an illusion. And other people's choices can't harm you. You are here. You're here, right now, for a reason. You signed up for this, and you have everything you need to wake up, to open up to your own power, and you will in when you're comfortable with it, because it can be uncomfortable. It's unfamiliar, and we like familiarity. As a species, we like familiarity. I think you've probably noticed that. So just gather your resources. We have a wonderful community. And if you don't have somebody to call, then draw upon your own inner resources. They're there. They're there. You have the knowledge. You have the strength. I'm telling you, if I were to tell you my story and how many, well, we're not going to go there. This is about being a starship. This is about being a starship. And you are with other starships. And if nothing else, remember the calls. You know, check in, attend them. Know that you are a big part of an exciting new earth that is being birthed right now. And if you can't believe it for yourself, then take my word on it. But of course I can't convince you, because that is each person's choice to tap into that truth. So this is just going nowhere. Like, yeah, this is real inspiration. Well, there's nothing I can do for you. But I can witness, and I can appreciate you, and I can encourage you to appreciate yourself. I can encourage you to be the loving parent to that frightened child. I can encourage you to remember that as a loving parent, you wouldn't judge that child for being frightened. You wouldn't judge the other children for being frightened. You would just do what you could to soothe them and love them and hold them and reassure them that they're safe. So be the loving parent to the voice of fear. Just remember that voice of fear was literally created from a little child, because I keep saying, what would a self-actualized adult do in this situation? Well, they might sing a song or put on a video, like a Lori Ladd video, or Lori Ladd with Feel Good. Those are pretty powerful. Or a lot of people follow Orica Girl. Whoever resonates with you. There's all these wonderful resources. So, and maybe if you had a little child that was frightened, you would distract them, like, hey, you want to play a game? You want to sing a song? Anybody remember Whistle a Happy Tune from The King and I? Right? Whenever I feel afraid, I hold myself erect and whistle a happy tune so no one will suspect I'm afraid. I wish I knew the whole song. While shivering in my shoes, I strike a careless pose and whistle a happy tune, and no one ever knows I'm afraid. The result of my deception is very strange to tell. For when I fool the people I fear, I fool myself as well. And I don't know the rest of how it goes. So, but that's the idea, right? Fool yourself. It just means distract yourself. Distract yourself from the ego mind. Distract yourself from the programming and the way you're accustomed to thinking, because you may not have recognized it yet, but you really are awakening. You really are awakening to a whole new you. You are peeling away the layers at the speed you're comfortable with. And by the way, speaking of fear, the I want to encourage you to remember that we're entering a whole new age and a whole new consciousness that hasn't, as far as I know, has not been recorded and scientifically studied. And so this is okay. Avert your eyes if you are offended easily, but this is what I say to science. You guys, you scientific researchers, and even the and we're talking about the disinformation doesn't, and I don't mean to put them down and say they have nothing of value, but like Christiane Northrup shared on the Clubhouse call, and she references somebody else who says, "Oh, we're at 55% light." I'm going, how do you know? I just realized I have not been looking at the camera this whole time. I'm sorry, but you're stuck with it. Okay. Anyway, how does she know, or how does that person who is stating it really know? They don't. So I'm using my imagination and my truth and my heart and what and my downloads, and my downloads say every time I step out there and I'm tuned in to that 5D, that the power of my heart and the magnificence of this body that, like is self-healing, and everything is energy and it's electrical and magnetic, all these things that they keep wanting to calibrate and study with their machines. They don't have a machine that can study that, because this is brand new so far. And so when I step out there and I am in that space of feeling the energy and feeling the love and feeling the joy and the imagination and the delight, all those higher frequency experiences, what I say is I'm probably shining at like 95%. I think I'll shine at 100 when I make my transition, when I sprout my spirit wings and fly. But it may be temporary, but that doesn't matter. We keep wanting to put numbers and look for reassurance. We keep looking outside ourselves for some expert to tell us it's okay. And I say I do not fear the virus, as you know. I don't fear the variant, and I don't fear the shedding. That is just more fear porn. Because when I stand in my power, nothing can touch me. And I have reframed it to say, I am shedding my old beliefs. I'm shedding the beliefs that stand in the way of standing in my power. I am shedding the belief that, okay, well, I'm just not going to go into all the beliefs. But So bless their hearts, the people who are concerned, but they're not standing in their power. They are not standing in their power. Now, I am not going to I'm not going to sign up, to be experimented upon, but I know this. I know that if they carry me away and force that sucker into me, that is going to, that my body is just going to handle it. So I'm going to share this story that I believe is Wayne Dyer told about Ram Dass. So I apologize if I get the names wrong, but the essence of the story is the same. Ram Dass used to, in his early days, I believe he was a peer of Timothy Leary, and so there's a lot of LSD, experimenting with LSD in order to achieve higher consciousness. They were scientifically kind of looking at this, and so on his spiritual journey, he did acid, and he also started on a spiritual journey, and he went to study with some spiritual mentor. Don't know who the person was, but he takes his supply of acid with him, thinking, I guess, that he thought that for him, he wanted that to be part of his journey. And when he arrived, the the teacher asked him, "Did you bring acid with you?" And he was honest. He said, "Yes, I did." And he said, "Give it to me." He goes, "Oh, you mean give you a dose?" He said, "No, give me everything you brought." And so he hands it over, thinking the guy's, that he's going to go and throw it away or, stash it away. And the teacher takes it and he downs it all. Now, this is enough to fry somebody's brain, okay? And he had known that because he had taken some before. He brought it. He knew it worked. He knew it was real. And he was just horrified. And so he's making up the story of, oh my God, I've killed this guy. He's going to die, whatever. And the teacher puts a blanket over his head and he says, "Go away." And a couple hours later or whatever, he takes the blanket off and boom, he is fine. Okay? So shedding, I'm not afraid of shedding. You have no idea. You have no idea. Use your imagination to tap into the truth and the joy and the delight that is awaiting us, instead of tapping into the fear of the world, of the life we are leaving. So that's my little talk on, if you're still afraid, watch this. And thanks for watching.